Hi Vijetha, I was just reviewing your presentation and fabulous and well done on taking that first step in preparing your speech. I will head over to the whiteboard over here. If you can come with me over here, the whiteboard. I would like to analyze the speech with you, how it went. What I liked about your speech was you started off with a story. And why is that story so important? Because with stories we communicate and people understand each other. So well done. The next thing what I liked about your particular speech was you did not use notes. And when you do not use notes, it creates a connection with an audience. So that means it frees away your hands to do gestures, focus on people, and relate your story, like how you tell to your parents. Now, this is not a general Toastmaster evaluation, but I have a few points of recommendation. If you could add it to your speech, it would just shine through. Let's start with a purpose. The purpose of the speech was to speak in front of the audience and tell about yourself. You started off with you immediately started off with your story about your grandma. You told about your background, then you then weaved in cleverly into that incident about your brother and sister, super dog, super girl, and then narrated your journey in Melbourne and then on to Toastmasters. So that was a good structure. Now, here's the thing which I want you to improve on. I want you to start off with a cleaner introduction. If I start here and start telling a story, people might not listen or people might not connect. It does not give time to connect. People will ask, why should I listen to your story? What we could do instead, especially in the icebreaker, would be start off with, hey, I'm Vijetha. I come from India. I have two siblings. And then you can move on. You can mention about your grandma, and when you move to the first body, that's your introduction, and you can also tell, today I'm going to tell you about my favorite childhood memories, something like that. So what this does is it gives the audience time to understand, oh, now I know what she's going to talk about. The second point of recommendation, which then moves on to the body, you can then mention my childhood memories and my childhood memories back in India. You can then narrate your story. So that's absolutely fine. The second point of recommendation I have is if you can focus on cohesion. So you explained your childhood memory of your brother and sister, and then you moved on to Melbourne. And then it quickly wrapped around moving on to the other stories. So what I want you to do is pause after the first story and give us a lesson, a meaning, or what's the point of telling that story? Did you learn something from that experience? Was there any discovery? What did you discover that is relatable to Toastmasters or your speech? So, number one, cohesion. Cohesion is how your speech glues to each other. The second point, as I mentioned, if you put in story, put a story, tell a story, then put a point. A story and a point. A story and a point. Now, I want you to also plant a transition from that story to your journey in Melbourne by planting a transition. How can you plant a transition in between these two structures? The story of your childhood and your story about your Melbourne and your Toastmaster experience. What you could do is mention, that was my childhood memory, and put in a question, but do you know why I joined Toastmasters? Put in that question, a rhetorical question, and then narrate your experience. The third point of recommendation I want you to have is, when you narrate that story, I particularly felt a bit confused around, okay, you started off with Coles, you started with ATO, you started with Coles, and then you weaved in, then you met a friend who inspired you, insisted you to join Toastmasters. I want to uncover why. Why did she inspire you? Why did she tell you to join Toastmasters? You did hinted on shyness, but was it a pain that you can extrapolate? Was it a pain you are addressing that I wanted to become a better communicator? Was it getting a job in a better place? Or was it your self-belief? Or never know, like my wife, she returned after maternity after 10 years. Were you returning from maternity or some kind of journey? Now, if you polish that, then the last part is conclusion. Your story was, like, say, let's say a block structure, a big block. We worked on the introduction, we worked on the body. Now the conclusion, how will people remember you? Or what are you asking for? Leave them with a question if possible. So one conclusion can be, now I'm just making it up. Now this is my journey. I told you about my childhood. I told you about my adulthood now. This is who I am. I am here to improve myself and to work with you as colleagues in our Toastmaster Club. Will you join me in my journey, Madam Toastmaster? And that's where you can polish your message. That polish will bring on that shine. I hope this recommendation is valuable for you, and thank you for sending me your video. So do consider this, rewrite your speech and let me know. Send me the video again. And congratulations again. It's a first step in the club and it's a great step. I'm so proud of you.